off on a tangent. Yes, I think so. To the poor person on YouTube that's asked me 3 times over the last 5 or 6 days, every other day, is that a bow and arrow target at the back of your garden, next to the shed near the door? No, it isn't. I can't. If it was a bow and arrow and it missed, it went through the fence, it could kill the neighbour or the beautiful dog they have. I mess about with throwing knives. That one did go through. That one went in the middle. That one went just below. So I did shoot one through there, but that was solid. There it is. So I just mess about, and I've kind of worn the target out. Right, stop this. Let's go back and do some colour. Right. Put a target on there, that's my wood tree. Right, peeps. What do we have here? What do we have here? This is going to take at least a quarter of an hour, okay? So buckle up, because this for me started out as a colour thing, but it's turned into what I am always saying. Seriously, this started out last night, just dozing off, just winding down, and these things, I could feel them creeping up my spine. 2 words. Do we know what those 2 words are? I'll tell you what they are. Oh God, I'm not going to go back there again now. Orange, yellow, green, brown, blue, red, black, white, tan, pink, turquoise, gold. There are more colours. What do we think they could be? Because as soon as we answer that one, we're going to go from 1961, 1966, 1971, 74, 75, 84 and 1992, and we're going to do a trail. This, like I said, for me, is just about the absurdity of thinking that objects don't have colour, right? And that the colour, we see colour because of Mickey Mouse photons that are bouncing off of the surfaces because of the molecular structure of things, the angles into the retinas, bang, into the cones and rods, and then we see colour in the brain. This is about
color to match their surroundings. Before I tell you the reason, kindly like and subscribe. It's actually all about mood, temperature, and communication. When they're angry or trying to impress a mate, they light up like a neon sign. So next time you see a color change, don't think camouflage, think chameleon drama. Did you know chameleons don't change color to match their surroundings? Before I tell you the reason, kindly like and subscribe. It's actually all about mood, temperature, and communication. When they're angry or trying to impress a mate, they light up like a neon sign. So next time you see a color change, don't think camouflage, think chameleon drama. Did you know?
Chameleons, right? Now these are just some of the colours, right? Because, like I said, I came to do an absurdity to think that the chameleon doesn't actually change colour itself. That you look at the chameleon and you see the colour change. Not, it's a monochromatic shade of grey, and that all of the colour that you see is actually in your head. You're seeing the chameleon change colour, right? Now, you heard what he said.
Chameleons don't change color to match their surroundings. Before I tell you the reason, kindly like and subscribe. It's actually all about mood, temperature, and communication. When they're angry or trying to impress a mate, they light up like a neon sign. So next time you see a color change, don't think camouflage, think chameleon drama.
Are you kidding me? When I was a kid, it's a long time ago, I remember chameleons, the reason that they change colour, they kind of, it's about camouflage. You don't go through all of that evolution, if it is that, right? And you have this superpower that you can change and imitate the colours of your surroundings, right? When it's a dark green foliage, they go dark greenish. If they're walking along a brown branch, they go kind of that colour. If it's lighter, they do have loads of other colours. maybe it is excitement, horny, angry, frustrated. But to say that none of the color change is about camouflage is just another insult to your intelligence. Now, let's start with 1961. Now, what I wanted to do was go through the amount of colors and see what it said. But we kind of came around to the other absurdity of the absolute rubbish that they're telling people. Now listen, if anybody thinks that when a chameleon changes color, it's chameleon drama and none of it's camouflage, that's probably why you believe the sun takes 4.6 seconds to radiate light, the distance of its diameter, and it's probably the reason that you think the Egyptians carved the equivalent weight of 135 battle-ready Nimitz-class aircraft carriers out of somewhere with just proper hand tools and bare hands. 1961. I'm only going to focus on the colours, right? The how and the why. So, much has been written about the ability of lizards, such as the old world. No, hang on. Popular but erroneous belief is that such colour changes always represent conscious efforts to approximate the colour of the background on which or against which the lizard appears. Various other factors are concerned besides background colour. Among these are age, sexual and seasonal changes, and changes in temperature, light, and the animal's emotional state. You can't argue with all that, but what you can argue against is saying that none of it is about camouflage, right? This is the longest one. The rest of them are all shorter. Usually a decrease in temperature results in a darkening of colour. A rise in temperature is apt to produce a lightening in colour. The night lizards of the southwestern United States form an exception in this rule. Their colours become darker with temperature increase. Intense light generally causes a darkening in colour, and faint light the reverse. Colour changes resulting from varying emotional states usually produce mottled colour patterns. Now, here we go. Colour variations in lizards are brought about by certain changes in pigment cells in the skin. Most of the cells nearest the surface of the skin are yellowish. Underneath them are great numbers of cells called melanophores, which have dark brown or nearly black pigment. There are whitish cells below the melanophore layer. Colour changes are produced as the melanophores contract or expand. This may be brought about by decreasing or increasing temperatures. In the case of the other factors involved in colour variation, sexual and seasonal changes, light and so on, the melanophores are stimulated by the nervous system or through the action of one of three hormones, intermedin, acetylcholine, and adrenaline. The first two of these hormones cause the melanophores to expand. Adrenaline causes them to contract. That is a long one, right? So there's not too much to argue with, apart from it's not done for camouflage. So that's 1961. Now we jump to 1966, right? Look, they're all a lot shorter. Now remember, these are all encyclopedias and world books, okay? This is really short. I penciled over the bloody writing. The chameleon's ability to change its colours to match its surroundings is not unique. Many other lizards also can change colour rapidly and completely. That's all we have on this one. It clearly says to match the colour of its surroundings. That is the 1966. So right now, where are we? With those two books, kind of in the middle, 1971. People, if you don't think this is serious, right, you're not listening properly. 1971. Chameleon. Only another look, short passage. Main source. Its well-known ability to change colour is due to layers of contractile pigment-bearing cells that can be pressed toward the surface of the skin and to the inflation of air vessels in connection with the lungs. That is all it says about colour change. It doesn't say why, when, It just says pigment cell pushing up towards the surface of the skin. That is all it says in the 1971 encyclopedia about the chameleon's colour change. So now we've gone from 1961 to 71, 3 books, right? 61, 66 and 71. Where are we? Nowhere. This is just, it's not a proper encyclopedia world book, but it's still a printed encyclopedia, more along the junior level lines, right? Which is important because this is for the children. Chameleons are lizards which are famous for their ability to change colour to match various backgrounds. This ability has been somewhat exaggerated and is less well developed than in the squids and cuttlefish, but the chameleons are still very difficult to spot as they sit among the vegetation. That's all it has on that. Now, we are now pushing towards the side of it to blend in with their surroundings. How can it not be? Dark green, the chameleon goes dark greenish. It's walking along, there's footage of these things, right? They do have other colours, but when they're in certain surroundings, it's logical for it to change colour and try to match, the same as an octopus if it's being hunted or if it's going to be prey. That's what this mechanism is for. It's not because it's horny or angry because it's late for breakfast or something. This is another insult, and it's in these books. The 1975, there's 2 sets of these. One is the in detail. There is nothing about chameleons in detail. So I looked in the normal one, and we have this. Now to there, right? Okay, each species is capable of undergoing a particular range of colour change. The mechanism involves dispersion of concentration of pigment in cells containing pigment granules, melanophore cells that are under the control of the autonomic nervous system. Many can assume green, yellow, cream or dark brown, frequently with lighter or darker spots on the ground colour. Those colours, they're colours of foliage, of branches, right? It's ridiculous. Colour change is determined by such environmental factors as light and temperature, as well as by emotions such as fright and those associated with victory or defeat in battle with another chameleon. It is a popular misconception that the chameleon changes its colour to match that of the background. 1975, so we've got from 1961 to 1974, kind of, it was pushing towards, hey, this is about the background. Boom. A misconception in 1975. The same people pushing for the light is processed in the head. Colours are processed in the head. I assure you they're not. Imagine that. A chameleon can go all of these colours. So you're looking at it as it's walking along and it's changing all of these colours, kind of matching the surroundings, different colour foliage and everything. And you're telling me that what that chameleon, the colour of that chameleon is a grey, a drab monochromatic shade of grey with no colour. Same as everything has no colour, right? The world, the planet, has no colour. It's only until the light comes and the colour is processed in your head. There's no colour outside of your head. Bullshit. It is an insult. But this, it's an insult on top of an insult. It's ridiculous, right? I hope people are starting to wake up to this. I hope people can be objective enough to understand what I'm saying, right? So this is the 84, right? From there and just that bit. So what have we got? Chameleons are known for their ability to change colour, but many other kinds of lizards also have this ability. A chameleon may be green, yellow or white one minute, and the next minute it may be brown or black. chameleons also may become spotted or blotched. Many people believe chameleons change colour to blend with their surroundings. However, the changes occur in response to variations in light or temperature, or as the result of fright or some other reaction to the environment. The colour of a chameleon is controlled by body chemicals called hormones, which affect pigments in the skin. Now, as we've gone from 1961, now we're at 1984, we've got one more to go. We started off with, yeah, okay, it seems to be the logical thing. It's trying to blend in with its surroundings, plus other stuff. But the main one, and now they're pushing that out. They're pushing it away. They're pushing the logical one away. Now this is 1992, it's the last one. So, look, that little bit. Chameleons are known for their ability to change colour, but many other kinds of lizards also have this ability. A chameleon may be green, yellow or white one minute, and the next minute it may be brown or black. Chameleons may also become spotted. It's exactly the same as the 1984. The colour is controlled by body chemicals called hormones. 1984 and 1992, the two latest, most recent, have both pushed for next to nothing to do with camouflage. You've got to be kidding me, right? So,
Did you know chameleons don't change color to match their surroundings? Before I tell you the reason, kindly like and subscribe.
no.
It's actually all about mood, temperature, and communication.
Let's find another one. Why chameleons change colour 1 month ago.
Did you know that chameleons don't change color just to hide? They actually speak a colorful language all their own. When a chameleon changes to this color, it probably means it is ready to rob a convenience store.
That chameleon was colourful and it turned dark, borderline black. Did you hear what they said?
Did you know that chameleons don't change color just to hide? They actually speak a colorful language all their own. When a chameleon changes to this color, it probably means it is ready to rob a convenience store.
Right, then there's no words, they just show you the chameleon changing colour, right? The real reason listen to this guy.
This is a chameleon, and they don't change colors to camouflage, so why do they? Well, chameleons first appeared on Earth like 100 million years ago. Give me brown, damn it! Yeah, the whole color shifting camouflage thing, total fake news. See, if we go deep into the chameleon's transparent skin, we find these things called chromatophores. Basically little cells that are responsible for color. And chameleons, well, they've got like 4 different kinds, each responsible for a specific color. So when a chameleon needs to communicate something, muscles near these cells squeeze them, causing the cells to grow or shrink and change color. But it's usually bright, bold colors for mating and dominance. Not camouflage.
Can you hear? You cannot believe that it's not about camouflage. I can understand that some of it could be about mating or just had a fight, won, lost, but it's about camouflage. That's why it's the same as the octopus. It's crazy. It's borderline crazy. These people are fucking lying, right? It's common sense. It's everywhere. All right, look, you're gonna have to do some homework yourselves, guys. But I'm telling you that it's bad. If I hadn't have got these books out, and it was a total fluke, I was here to do the colours, to say, look, how on earth can the colour be in people's heads with so many colours going on around us, right? I stick to that. But to then find out all that was said, how they've pushed from 1961, it was more or less about, yeah, it's camouflage, of course it is. But then they've pushed it away. They've pushed the logical away from you. Listen to the people here. That was a month ago. They are lying. They are lying about just about everything. But the lies are obvious. They're ridiculous. The sun taking that long. The Egyptians carving that amount of weight. It's just on and on. People, I hope you are paying attention. I'm not doing this to waste my time. I'm trying to make a point. These assholes are lying, okay? All right, that's gonna be me. Dreading the octopus. Poor Tico Bra. I'm afraid he's taking a back seat again. Later, peeps. It's crazy stuff.